So I want to talk about something absolutely crazy that's happening right now. If you haven't heard, there's a F-15 Strike Eagle that was shot down over Iran, and this has all been the news in the last couple of days. And supposedly he has been rescued, and there's two pilots. The first one was rescued. The second one apparently was rescued. And so we're going to go over some of these little bits of news and then some other conclusions, takeaways, because as is being reported, a lot of people are skeptical, especially with some of the news that I'm about to talk about. So it's going to get crazy. So let's go over some of the news. The first thing you got to know is that so many people over the whole weekend and in the last several days have talked about this missing crew member and how there was a search and rescue effort. In Iran, there's been all sorts of pictures, evidence that there was something that happened, some altercation. There's a lot of video. You can go over some of that. If you've seen it, you would know what I mean. But recently, President Trump tweeted this and said that we got him, talking about that pilot. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically all of the top staff, brass, have been together and trying to locate him. And that's why I believe that Trump basically canceled some appointments, some public showings for the last day because they were so fixated on trying to get this pilot or both of these pilots out. Now, we don't know exactly the timeline of some of this, and I'll get to that in a second here, but basically he's saying that, yes, everything's all in good. Now, Colin summarizes some main points here, but one thing that is being mentioned is that the crew member said, God is good, apparently, over radio before ejecting from the aircraft. Now, real quick, that is great to hear. To God be the glory. And this person seems to be religious. I don't know exactly to what degree, if that means he's a believer, he's a Christian, but that's absolutely crazy and fantastic if that is true. And again, so many stories are coming out. There's a lot of video also from Iranian folks on the ground with weapons and many other things. But apparently there was some small arms fire, some ground warfare that happened. Many people had died that were trying to hunt him down when SOCOM and some of these JSOC forces were actually defending their position while trying to rescue this person. But this crew member apparently was in the mountains, wounded for more than 24 hours, and several hundred soldiers were trying to rescue him, and many thousands of others were trying to hunt him down. And there's a couple of crazy stories coming out of this apparently, but there's evidence that the US actually destroyed several of their own aircraft in trying to rescue this person. And basically it seems like a couple of helicopters and maybe another airplane was trying to leave, but they couldn't, out of some makeshift airfield inside of Iran, and that they sent 3 more military aircraft to take some of these guys out and then destroyed the other several. And this is some footage coming out of some people in Iran that had filmed some of this, which is crazy. As you can see, a lot of debris, a lot of parts, and people were trying to match some of this to other aircraft, like this helicopter here, which was, I think, a HC-130J Combat King II or some MH-6 Little Birds. But what I find actually most interesting is that Axios had reported this along with CBS News, but a senior administration official told Axios that prior to locating the weapons systems officer, the CIA launched a deception campaign by spreading word inside Iran that U.S. forces had already found him and were attempting a ground exfiltration. And that in the meantime, while that was happening, the CIA used unique capabilities to search for him. This was the ultimate needle in a haystack, but in this case, it was a brave American soul inside a mountain crevice, invisible for CIA's capabilities, this official said. And that the entire time, according to a homing beacon or something, the CIA shared his precise location with the Pentagon, the U.S. military, and the White House, and President Trump ordered an immediate rescue mission. And that in this deception campaign, they tried to confuse the Iranian forces by thinking that they were already moving him out of the country in a ground convoy. And so that was to scare or to confuse them so that it would mislead people. And then this campaign probably supposedly was part of this whole public persona where a lot of us in those like 2 or 3 days or 1 or 2 days where we were all reporting all kinds of things. Everybody was saying all kinds of stuff, saying that, oh, he was already found. And I was scrolling through all sorts of social media, thinking that that was the case. And part of me even thinks, is this even a white lie in the sense that he is being rescued or was rescued, but even President Trump and many others are saying that, yes, we got him, but he's still being found. So who knows, right? And again, I'm So who knows, right? So in the sense of like this whole psyops warfare, information warfare, what's interesting to me is that the CIA is admitting to having a deception campaign in order to thwart the enemy. And so it makes you think, what other psyops information warfare tactics are happening right now? I can think of one thing, the Q movement, many others, where they're intentionally having some perception for the enemy's sake, but also for our sake. So you got to understand that the army, the military, they all have these fifth gen psychological psyops warfare divisions that only talk about how do you make it so that you manipulate some of the information, whether for good, for other purposes, but it's out there and it's being admitted. So as much as I am excited and that a lot of lives haven't been lost from the U.S. side and they safely got this person out of there and just many other things, what's interesting to me is that many people thought a lot of this was conspiracy. A lot of this was crazy talk, right? If you talk about the hoaxes, right, all the election stuff and the manipulation to have people believe a certain thing, you got to understand that we're living in an information era. And what comes with that is information warfare. And so be very careful, guys, where AI and many others are taking precedent, where people that are writing certain things, certain favorite influencers, even Trump and many other officials are officially saying certain things to create a certain perspective, but you're really thinking that it's something else. And so there's a lot of double, triple fake outs. There's a lot of double, triple saying certain things, timing it in a certain way to give off a certain impression. So again, let me know what you guys think down below, but this is very interesting to me that this is being admitted and that many other things that people have been saying as conspiracy is now coming out as being admitted to officially, and it's being done and executed at scale within a country during this time of conflict and war. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Love you guys. More to come. If you guys want to support me, all the information down is in the description. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.